Imagine waking up one morning to find that your only source of income has disappeared. A job lost, a contract canceled, a client gone. Most people don't realize this until it's too late. But relying on just one income stream is like standing on one shaky leg. At any moment, life can push you off balance. But here's the good news. You can build a financial foundation so strong that no single setback can break it. Stay with me until the end because I'm about to show you how to create multiple income streams that protect your future and expand your freedom. 1. Develop skills. Every income stream begins with one thing: skill. Not degrees, not job titles, not who you know, but the raw ability to solve problems in a way others cannot or will not. Skills are the true currency of the modern economy, and unlike money, they don't inflate, they don't disappear, and they travel with you anywhere you go. Whether you are broke, unsure, or starting fresh, skill building is the most reliable and universal path to financial independence. The first step is awareness, understanding what you naturally gravitate toward. Everyone has innate tendencies. Some people excel at creativity, others at logic, others at communication, others at leadership. Instead of forcing yourself into skills that drain you, observe which activities engage your mind effortlessly. That's usually where your greatest potential lies. Once you identify that direction, the next step is intentional practice. Skills sharpen like blades. They need friction. Study consistently, seek challenges, and break through plateaus. YouTube, free articles, online courses, mentors, apprenticeships. Your learning resources are endless. In the past, knowledge was locked behind institutions and gatekeepers. Today, most people fail not because information is unavailable, but because they lack discipline and curiosity. Cultivate both. The most powerful approach isn't mastering one skill, but stacking skills. A person who is good at writing is valuable. A person who can write and sell is powerful. A person who can write, sell, design, and understand human psychology becomes unstoppable. Skill stacking multiplies value exponentially because it makes you rare. Imagine someone who can manage projects, speak publicly, understand finance, and build simple websites. That person is a problem-solving machine in almost any industry. Don't underestimate soft skills either. Communication, negotiation, emotional intelligence, time management, and critical thinking are often more financially rewarding than purely technical ability. People who can lead, persuade, organize, and solve interpersonal issues rise quickly because these are skills most avoid learning. And remember, skills evolve. The marketplace shifts, trends change, new tools emerge, and old methods die. Do not cling to outdated abilities. Stay flexible. Adaptation is a skill by itself, and the people who succeed long-term are those who treat learning as a lifestyle, not a temporary phase. Ultimately, skills give you leverage. They allow you to charge more, attract opportunities, and work on your own terms. When you walk into a room with real ability, people feel it. When you've put in the hours, the market responds. Building skills is not glamorous, but it is transformative. Every hour invested compounds. Every practice session plants a seed. And every new skill stacked on top of the last becomes another tool you can use to build the life you want. Skills are the foundation of wealth, and the more you develop them, the more financial doors you unlock. 2. Side business strategies. A side business does not need to be a massive, complicated project. In fact, most successful side hustles begin as simple experiments, small, low-risk attempts to see what the market responds to. The beauty of a side business is that it allows you to explore opportunities without giving up your main source of income. You can learn, test ideas, and build momentum while minimizing pressure. The first principle is to start with what you already know. If you can write, offer writing services. If you can design, create logos or social media graphics. If you're tech-savvy, help businesses with websites, automation, or software setup. If you love teaching, offer tutoring or educational content. Your strengths are your quickest path to income because they reduce the learning curve. Next, decide on a business model that matches your available time and energy. Services are the fastest way to earn money because you exchange your skill for direct payment. Products, digital or physical, take more effort up front but offer scalability. Content-based businesses like YouTube, TikTok, blogs take the longest to grow but have the highest long-term leverage. You don't need to choose the perfect model. You need to choose something and begin. The most important rule is to test quickly and cheaply. Avoid perfectionism. Build a simple offer, put it in front of real people, and observe the response. Let the market be your teacher. If nobody pays, it's not a failure, it's feedback. Adjust the offer, reposition it, or try a different audience. The only true failure is quitting before learning what works. Platforms are your friends. Use freelancing sites to get clients fast. Use Etsy, Gumroad, or Shopify for digital or physical products. Use social media to showcase your work and attract customers. You don't need a website or a logo to start. You need proof that someone will pay for what you offer. The fancy parts can come later. A profitable side business also requires strategy. Track results. Identify which tasks produce money and which merely feel productive. Focus on marketing, customer experience, and value delivery. These three areas determine your success far more than aesthetics or branding. Learn to ask for feedback, refine your offers, raise your prices gradually, and build repeatable processes. Over time, a good side business becomes more efficient. You learn faster, you systemize tasks, you outsource low-skill work, you improve your pricing. This is how a side hustle evolves into a stable income stream. Most people underestimate how much can grow from something that starts small. Every empire begins with a single initiative. The goal isn't to start perfectly, it's to start consistently. A side business is simply a vehicle to test your skills, explore opportunities, and build financial independence piece by piece. Once something starts working, double down on it. Momentum builds quietly, then suddenly. What starts as a little extra income can transform into a life-changing source of freedom. 3. Invest early. Your money should work harder than you do. The truth about building wealth is simple. Those who invest early gain a massive advantage, not because they earn more, but because they give their money more time to grow. Even small amounts invested consistently can become significant over the years. The power lies not in the size of your contributions, but in the mathematics of compounding. Most people delay investing because they believe they need large savings or perfect timing. This is one of the biggest financial misconceptions. The secret isn't timing the market. It's time in the market. The longer your money stays invested, the more opportunities it has to grow through compounding returns. Think of investing like planting a tree. Growth is slow in the beginning, invisible even, but after enough seasons, it expands dramatically. Start with what you can afford. Even $10, $20, or $50 a month matters. As your income increases, increase your contributions. The habit is more important than the amount. Consistency and time do the heavy lifting. Diversify. Invest across different asset classes. Index funds for stability, stocks for growth, crypto, carefully, for upside, and real estate for long-term security. Each asset has its own risk profile, but together they balance and strengthen your financial base. Index funds, for example, are one of the simplest and most reliable investments because they track the overall market rather than betting on individual companies. If you choose to invest in crypto, treat it as a high-risk, long-term speculative asset. Allocate a reasonable percentage, not everything. Many people lose money not because crypto is inherently bad, but because they invest emotionally rather than strategically. Real estate, when approached wisely, is another powerful wealth-building tool. Whether through rental properties, land, or real estate investment trusts, REITs, the combination of rental income, equity buildup, and appreciation creates multi-layered returns. The goal of investing is freedom. When your money makes money, you rely less on your daily labor. Over years, your investments can surpass the income you earn from work. That's when financial independence becomes possible, not because you saved aggressively, but because you let time and compounding do their job. Investing isn't about getting rich quickly. It's about building a foundation that grows quietly in the background of your life. Start early, stay consistent, be patient, and trust the process. The future version of you will look back with gratitude that you planted seeds long before you needed the shade. 4. Build passive income. Passive income is often misunderstood as a path where effortless wealth simply flows in without any form of exertion. But this is far from the truth. Real passive income means building systems that require substantial effort at the beginning, but can produce returns long after the initial work is done. The philosophy behind passive income is essentially the idea of leveraging time, your time, technology's time, or the time of systems and tools, so you can create value that continues to circulate even when you're not actively engaged with it. Consider digital products like online courses, ebooks, templates, or subscription-based tools. You invest time, creativity, and energy up front to produce something valuable. And once created, it can be distributed thousands of times with almost zero additional cost. The same applies to automated services, tools that run through software, chatbots, scheduled workflows, or delegations to virtual assistants. Once the system is built, it can handle repetitive tasks that once consumed your hours. Another dimension of passive income involves financial assets such as dividend stocks, peer-to-peer lending, real estate rentals, or index funds. These are not magical money machines, but disciplines that require research, patience, and a willingness to forego instant gratification in exchange for long-term stability. Over time, these investments can snowball, allowing your money to work while you regain your freedom as your reliance on active, hourly labor decreases. The heart of passive income lies not in laziness, but in foresight. Seeing opportunities where others see limitations, choosing to build slowly where others chase overnight success, and trusting the compounding effect of small, consistent efforts. Think of every passive income stream as planting a seed. It won't turn into a tree overnight, but if nurtured correctly, protected from distractions, refined through experience, and scaled with intention, it will grow into something capable of bearing fruit year after year. This is why the Stoic mindset aligns so well with passive income. You focus on what you can control, build with discipline rather than emotion, remove the illusion of immediate reward, and trust the long-term process. Building passive income is essentially building a legacy, something that outlives your daily labor, something that continues to produce value even when you're focusing on other pursuits or taking time to rest. It's not about escaping work, but about transforming the relationship you have with time, output, and financial independence. And by beginning today, no matter how small the step, no matter how humble the project, you create a foundation for a future where your efforts are multiplied instead of merely exchanged for hourly pay. That is the essence of passive income. Work once with intention, and allow that work to keep rewarding you far beyond the moment you complete it. 5. Scale slowly and wisely. Scaling a business is one of the most exciting phases of entrepreneurship, but it is also one of the most dangerous, because rapid growth without structure can collapse even the strongest foundation. A business that scales too fast becomes like a house built on sand, impressive from a distance, but fragile at its core. So the wiser approach is deliberate, calculated growth rooted in evidence, experience, and clear systems. Before scaling, you must look for proof that your product or service is truly desirable. Not just in theory, but in actual customer behavior, repeat purchases, word-of-mouth referrals, and stable operations. Scaling without proof is gambling. Scaling with proof is strategy. Once the demand is validated, the next step is strengthening your internal systems so that your business can handle increased volume without sacrificing quality. This means automating repetitive tasks, optimizing workflows, improving customer support processes, and identifying weak points that could break under pressure. Outsourcing becomes an essential tool, not as an escape from responsibility, but as a redistribution of energy so you can focus on high-value decisions rather than drowning in minor tasks. Hiring should be intentional, not reactive, because bringing in the wrong people just to fill gaps can multiply problems rather than solve them. Reinvesting profits is equally important. Instead of extracting money too quickly, channel it back into marketing, technology, tools, and improvements that will compound your growth long-term. Sustainable scaling involves patience, the patience to test, refine, and strengthen before you expand. Growing wisely also means tracking data and making decisions based on measurable reality rather than excitement or ego. Each new level of growth introduces complexity, and without preparation, complexity becomes chaos. Stoic principles remind us that discipline, clarity, and self-control are essential during periods of expansion. While others chase speed, the Stoic entrepreneur chases stability. You grow when the foundation is ready, not when your emotions are high. Growth should feel steady, almost boring, rather than chaotic or erratic. The most successful businesses in history scaled slowly enough to maintain quality, consistency, and values, but firmly enough to keep momentum. Scaling is not merely about increasing numbers. It is about increasing capacity without losing integrity. It is a commitment to longevity over spectacle. When you scale wisely, you protect the essence of your business, ensuring that each new stage supports the next instead of undermining it. In this way, growth becomes not a sprint, but a strategic climb, deliberate, balanced, and sustainable. In the end, financial freedom is not luck, it's design. Build skills, start a side business, invest early, create passive income, scale wisely, and remember, diversify to multiply.